So Cork 137, Kilkenny 132 at Croke Park. Cork have booked themselves into their first All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship final for the first time since 2013. Cork have what seems to have done is got rid of the ghost from 2018, when they had that massive lead against Limerick and obviously let it slip. And, they've had some very disappointing All-Ireland Hurling Senior Championship semi-final defeats in recent seasons. Obviously lost to Waterford back in 2017 as well, when a lot of people would have expected them to get over the line. But Cork have got over the line here today against Kilkenny. They've beaten Kilkenny by 5 points at Croke Park. A huge win for Cork hurling and what was undoubtedly a game of the year contender. I mean, what a game of hurling we just witnessed here between Cork and Kilkenny. If there was ever a game to advertise the game of hurling, if there was ever a moment, a game or something just to showcase what hurling is all about and what Gaelic games is all about, this would be it. Because, oh my goodness me, you had two teams just going back and forth consistently. I think they were level almost 10 times at one stage or 10 times in the entirety of the game. You'd like drama, you'd goals, you'd points, brilliant points, brilliant, some of the best forwards in the game on show as well. And, TJ Reid, on Cody, Patrick Horgan. I mean, just a tremendous, tremendous game. It really, really was. And fair play to Cork, they dug deep in extra time. Obviously, when Adrian Mullen gets that goal late on, you're straight away thinking that, oh, here we go again. It's kind of like this. It's almost like it's the same old thing with Cork hurling is what you're thinking. Back in 2013 against Clare, all they had to do was see out one last attack before Clare got that late point. The Holy Moses, Marty Morrissey moment and whatnot. And even going back to 2018, 2017, and down the years for Cork hurling in particular, since they last won an All-Ireland back in 2005, so I mean, huge expectation on Cork, hurling obviously, and fair play to them for digging deep in extra time, because I really did feel that when Adrian Mullen scored that goal, I was like, I don't think Cork are going to win this game personally, because it felt like they lost the game. It felt like, because Kilkenny were beaten. I mean, Patrick Horgan had a 65. If it goes over the bar, it's 4 points. Kilkenny aren't going to get two more attacks. They're only going to get one more attack. And, the referee allowed a bit more time. Obviously Cork won the ball back initially. Tim O'Mahony gave the ball away poorly. It allowed Kilkenny to work the ball into Adrian Mullen. I think TJ Reid picked them out. And then obviously Adrian Mullen put it into the back of the net. But fair play to Cork. They dug deep absolutely brilliantly. Jack O'Connor gets that goal as well. What an engine, what a player. Definitely on course for an all-star, in my opinion. He was absolutely tremendous. And as Ben McElwain there says, what a game. I'm over the moon. I'm a big Monaghan fan, but got some Cork family, so got to go for them. Come on, the Rebels. Yeah, absolutely. Fair play to Cork, and congratulations to all Cork fans. Obviously as a Dublin man, there's certainly a Dublin and Cork rivalry down the years, but fair play to Cork. They're a massive hurling stronghold, there's no doubt about it, and you would love to see Cork go on and win the All-Ireland from here. I don't think they will personally. I don't think they will beat Limerick, I should say, but fair play to them. Like, this was a top-class performance. In the first half, they definitely did struggle a little bit. They weren't creating enough chances, in my opinion. Patrick Horgan hit 15 points in total in the game, and in the first half I think he hit 9 or 10 points in total. He was unbelievable in the game. And Patrick Horgan, obviously being picked up by Hugh Lawler, was able to get away from him on numerous occasions. Kilkenny were struggling Hugh Lawler and Kilkenny were struggling to deal with the influence of Patrick Horgan, who was dropping into spaces of the half forward line and into Kilkenny's half back line at times, just to pick up the ball, create his own bit of space, hit a couple of points over the bar. But realistically speaking, that was Cork's main threat in the first half. They only had two wides in the first half. From their 14, they hit 14 points. They only created 16 scoring chances compared to Kilkenny, who created around 30 scoring chances in the first half. So Kilkenny were far less accurate than Cork in the first half, but Cork just weren't creating enough chances. And I felt like it would maybe be, could Cork just step it up? They needed to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. In the end, in the second half, they certainly done so. But in the first half, you were just waiting for them to come into life a little bit. You always felt like Kilkenny weren't at 110%. They'd step it up when they needed to, to go a couple of points in front. But they always allowed Cork to be in the game. And I think that's been the problem for Kilkenny so far this year, or really in the past couple of years, is that they always seem to allow teams to come back into the game. Like Wexford, they'd go 3 or 4 points up, they'd allow Wexford come back into it. Obviously, Wexford got that late point in the Kilkenny game as well. You think back to when they played Dublin last year, they allowed Dublin come back into it, Waterford as well. So that seems to be Kilkenny's problem, is that they don't seem to have that same killer instinct or ruthlessness that Kilkenny teams of the past would have had. They just haven't quite got there yet. And I think it will take maybe winning an All-Ireland or getting a few more big victories to really kind of cement that. But yeah, as the game went on, Kilkenny in the first half on Cody was certainly creating a lot of space and hit a lot of very good points, hit 4 on the day. Billy Ryan was tremendous in the first half, hit 5 points in total in the game. And he was just really, really stepping it up, showing top class form from Billy Ryan. Definitely probably his best game so far this year, from what I've seen of him anyway in the championship. Michael Carey as well at wing back, starting in this game. Usually was coming on as a sub in the last game against the Dubs and against Wexford, but started this game and was very impressive. Hit a brilliant point at one stage, got forward. James Maher as always as well. And Kilkenny were just very, ruthless in the first half, taking those opportunities when they came. But Cork were always just thereabouts, and they never felt too far behind that the game was gone. I think there were 5 points down at the second half stage. I think in the third quarter, Kilkenny really kind of pulled away a little bit, opened up a 5 to 6 point lead, and Shamey Hart, or obviously the likes of TJ Reid, Alan Murphy started getting points. Even some of Kilkenny's bench as well, like Richie Hogan, started making an impact. Obviously that was from extra time, but Walter Walsh came on as well. But obviously the big turning point, and a big talking point, undoubtedly, was Cork's bench. I mean, Shane Kingston coming off the bench, hitting 7 points. He came on the 42nd minute and finished with 7 points. I think Cork were trailing by 5 points at the moment when he came on. And I think as well, like just the atmosphere inside the stadium as well. Like I wasn't there, but from looking at it on TV, it looked like there was majority of, it looked like there was mainly Cork fans there. And I think, once Cork started getting that momentum and hitting a couple of points, they just really fed into the atmosphere, and Kilkenny were just a bit rattled. All of a sudden, Kilkenny were struggling with their own puck-outs. Cork are winning so much ball. Tim O'Mahony, Dara Fitzgibbon, and obviously Shane Kingston was hitting a number of very, very well taken scores. Alan Cadigan as well, who came off the bench. Declan Dalton as well. So like 10 points in total, or 11 points in total from Cork's bench, and 10 of them came in, or 2 of those players came on in normal time, which really showed the massive impact that it made for Cork. And they just never lied down as well. Like they always stuck to the game plan. They kept themselves, within it, even after conceding that late goal from Adrian Mullen. They kept their composure, and they showed a bit of experience that maybe Cork have sometimes not had in recent years. Dubs fan says there, we're so blessed to have such a wonderful game. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, absolutely, mate. I said at the start of the video, if there was ever a game to showcase hurling, if there was ever someone who said, I don't like hurling or I don't like watching hurling, just show them this game and I guarantee they'll change their mind. Jack Nulty says Kilkenny not the same team. I think TJ Reid is what he meant, or coming to the end is Cody too. Limerick Cork coming hard. See winning the All-Ireland the last few years. Hard to compare against Kilkenny of old. Yeah, I mean it's a hard one for Kilkenny fans to stomach. I think Brian Cody had this wonderful record in All-Ireland semi-finals before last year, and obviously it's the third All-Ireland semi-final they've been to. They beat Limerick in 2019, but it's the third year in a row that they've been to the Final Four of the All-Ireland series, and they haven't won the All-Ireland. And I don't think you wouldn't have said that about Kilkenny in the past. Normally Kilkenny in the past, if they were getting to the Final Four, they were winning the All-Ireland. You know what I mean? They were getting to a final or something to that effect. They were going to be thereabouts. And, look, listen, I'm sure there'll be a lot of question marks about Brian Cody and people saying, oh, is he going to leave or is he going to walk away? Personally, I don't think he will. I just don't think he will walk away. I think he'll stay at it for a few more years, unless the Kilkenny board step in and say, oh, you need to kind of, step away. But I think that would be foolish. Like, after all the man has achieved, I think it'll be on his own terms when he steps away. And I think when you look at how Kilkenny have sort of changed their style this year, like with the short hand passing and playing out from the back as well, like short puck outs and all the rest, and obviously bringing through a lot of young players as well in the league. I just think he is building something, Brian Cody, as crazy as it sounds, because he's been there for so long. But yeah, I'd be surprised to see him leave. Wasn't best at times, but late on was great. Sure, how many Kilkenny be more noisy anyway in good way? Yeah. Kilkenny, yeah. I mean, the late goal, obviously, from Adrian Mullen, I mean, that was just I really felt that Kilkenny were going to kick on and win the game from there. I really did, because, you know, obviously Patrick Horgan has that 65 that he puts wide, and Cork actually had more wides in normal time in the final 5 to 6 minutes than they did in the rest of the game combined. And that showed you that maybe fatigue and nerves, and, you know, Cork so far this year have struggled a little bit going down the home stretch to see games out. Against the Dubs, they allowed the Dubs to come back in out of nowhere. You know, even in the game, who else did they play before Dublin? Again, my mind's gone blank there. But in that game as well, Clare, against Clare, they allowed Clare to come back into the game. Tony Kelly had that dramatic late chance, which obviously Patrick Collins saved. But Adrian Mullen gets that goal, and just an absolute wonder stroke coming absolutely out of nowhere. And he felt like this is the most Kilkenny thing ever. Like, they find a way to come back from the dead, and surely they'll go on from here to win it. But they really didn't. And like, you're looking at it, I said before, like 11 points from Cork's bench, just 1 point from Kilkenny's bench. James Bergen didn't quite have the same impact. Walter Walsh struggled to really settle into the game after he came on, and that was kind of around the time that Cork started to really turn the tide. Killian Buckley as well didn't quite have the same impact. And Richie Hogan scored a point, but that was on he came on for the final 10 minutes. So that kind of really says a lot as well. Oral Ali says, hurling coming home, Rebels, a boo. Yeah, look, listen, fair play. I think you've got a great chance anyway. And I think, you know, there's a lot of Limerick fans that probably would have been saying, you know, that Cork, because they've this great underage players coming through, like they're obviously in another under-20 All-Ireland hurling final. They've a great crop of young players coming through, that maybe Limerick and Cork is going to be the rivalry now for the next 5 or 10 years. And GAA lad says Cork played amazing today. And yeah, absolutely. Definitely in the second half. And as the game went on, they were absolutely brilliant. But yeah, Cork Limerick could really be a rivalry. Like, when you look at the age profile of both sides, the underage success of both sides as well, you know, and maybe if Cork go and turn Limerick over. And look, listen, there's players in that Cork team that would have beaten this Limerick team in 2019 in a round robin game. I know it's only a round robin game and people might forget about it, but it was still a big win at the time for Cork, because I don't think they'd won a game up until that point in that season. It was a huge win. It was Limerick's first defeat since obviously being crowned All-Ireland champions back in 2018. And obviously Limerick both sides went on to get beat by Kilkenny in that year's championship. But yeah, like, Cork will take massive confidence over the fact that they have beaten Limerick before. So, you know, look, it'll be a very, very intriguing game. It's an All-Ireland final, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great to see the spectacle as well, and you know, be great to see Cork win it. Personally, I think Limerick will have too much. I think Limerick's experience, and they just have they're just too good. They're too good. You've seen what they've done to Waterford. Waterford, very top class team, and Limerick just completely brushed them to the side. So we'll see what happens. But fair play to Cork. It's a huge win, a much needed win for the county as well. Like, a huge boost for the county getting to their first All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship final since 2013. And obviously, you know, after all the heartbreak that they had in 2013, you know, 2018, 2017, like losing to Kilkenny in 2019, you know, they finally got something to be happy about. But as most Cork fans will tell you, you know, Cork need to be winning All-Irelands, and, you know, that's what they'll be judged upon. But certainly, you know, regardless of what happens now in the final, unless they get beat by, you know, 15 to 20 points or anything like that, their season has definitely been a success, and fair play to them. But yeah, we'll wrap this up here anyway. Cheers anyone who tuned in and left a few comments. And yeah, the podcast will be out tomorrow, the Hurling Review podcast, so stay tuned for that. And I'll see you all on the next one.